It's the Evening Rancor, the daily podcast from that guy who talks about stuff, John Ford. Any links mentioned on the show are available at johnford.radio. Today, we're coming to you direct from your mom's basement. Welcome to the Evening Rancor, the John Ford podcast.
Here's your friend again.
No.
Time to relax and forget each care.
Uh-oh.
Just settle back in your easy chair.
No.
Here is entertainment for you.
Great.
You'll find it so enjoyable too. So listen to all from beginning to end, 'cause your friend,
Unfortunately,
John Ford
is here again.
You know, I sort of have the impression that Wednesday, October 24th, 2018, is one of those days that you should have just stayed in bed. I don't even need to go any further into it than that. Of course, if you're listening at a later date, this was the day that all the little pipe bombs showed up at the CNN offices, and a couple of former presidents and another wacky stuff went on today. But, you know, as Walter Cronkite used to say, and that's the way it is. Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. I'd like to say the whole world has gone crazy, but I'm a part of this world, so that means that I've kind of gone crazy too. Yesterday I was driving to go do a voice session, and I was driving up Mopac Expressway here in Austin, Texas, and the crazy people were hanging the Beto signs over the edge of the overpasses, jumping up and down. I thought to myself, you standing there holding the sign, jumping up and down, looking like a crazy person is not going to convince me to vote for this guy one way or the other. If I'm going to vote for him, my mind's probably already made up.
What, my fragile little mind?
I'm probably not going to vote for him. I'm probably not going to vote for Ted Cruz. I will probably do what I always do, which is the same silly thing over and over. Vote a straight libertarian ticket and then vote on the different amendments and stuff that they're trying to pass here in Austin. Personally, I wish they'd just fix the water. We have a boil water in effect for like the last 3 days, and they say it could go on for 2 more weeks for the entire city of Austin, Texas. That's like 1 million people. You have to boil water before you cook or drink or whatever. And people will be getting into altercations in the grocery stores, fighting over bottled water. Now, I'm one of those wacky types that stocks up on things like water. So underneath the stairs, I have maybe 20 cases of water. And my significant other always used to look at me and say, why in the world are you doing that? Well, yesterday I said, this is why I did that.
Never get out of the boat.
Because you can't get by without water.
Absolutely goddamn right.
7 days before you drop dead if you don't have water.
Unless you were going all the way.
To the crazy Beto people. So I'm looking up at them as they're jumping up and down on the overpass, trying to show me the signs, Beto for Senate. And by the way, I made my own Beto sign. I kind of rearranged it so it says Bozo for Senate using the same letters. I thought it was kind of clever. I haven't posted it anywhere. I just kind of like it. Maybe I'll put it up on the johnford.radio so you can take a look at it if you'd like. That and any other links mentioned on the show will be there today.
oh yeah.
On this wonderful podcast, the John Ford Podcast, The Evening Rancor. I forgot to tell you that, didn't I? Shame on me. So I'm looking at these people with these Beto signs, and I'm thinking, it's like a cult. And then I looked at it in the broader spectrum of things. The whole political landscape is like a cult. It really is.
I can't get with any religion that advertises in popular mechanics.
So I thought to myself, because they act like, religious nut jobs, whether they're banging on the doors of the Supreme Court or the right wing is just as bad. So I thought to myself, what are the hallmarks? What are the hallmarks of a cult? And does it fit? So I went to the International Cult Studies Association to find the hallmarks, characteristics associated with cultic groups. I'll put this link up on the website as well. So let's think about this in terms of politics, okay? Here's number 1. The group displays excessively zealous and unquestioning commitment to its leader, and whether he is alive or dead, regards his belief system, ideology, and practices as the truth as law.
There ought to be a law against it.
Just the first part of that works fine. The group displays excessively zealous and unquestioning commitment to its leader. Donald Trump. The Trumpies certainly fit this. These Beto people certainly fit this. Number 2, questioning, doubt, and dissent are discouraged or even punished. If you don't fall in line with the peculiarities of your particular political cult, be it the right or the left wing, yeah. Any kind of questioning, doubt, and dissent is discouraged or even punished. How dare you, Miss NBC newscaster, mention anything about blackface? You will immediately be punished by your peers that don't like it.
Well, sir, I don't like it.
Because it doesn't fit into their little worldview bubble, their little tribalism bubble. How dare you question, doubt, or have any dissent against anything that Mr. Trump says, that President Trump says? Because everything he says fits into our neat little tribal bubble. Number 3, mind-altering practices such as meditation, chanting. Yeah, we're here. We want beer. What's the one thing that the protesters always chant? Hey, hi, ho, ho, blah, blah, blah has got to go. Come on, baby, give me some mo. Mind-altering practices such as meditation, chanting, or speaking in tongues, denunciations, sessions, and debilitating work routines are used in excess to serve as suppressed doubts about the group and its leaders. I mean, you can't tell me that the chanting, that anytime you do any kind of chanting over and over, it does give you a mental high. And this is a very cult-like practice, and it is done by both the right and the left. Probably more so on the left, though, with their hey-ho, hi-ho. Number 5, the leadership dictates, sometimes in great detail, how members should think, act, and feel. Sound like identity politics and the social justice warriors? Sound like the extreme right religious right wing? For example, members must get permission to date, change jobs, marry, or leaders are prescribed what types of clothes to wear, where to live. Got to live in California, man, in New York City, whether or not to have children, how to discipline children, and so forth and so on. The leadership of the politic does dictate how people should act, think, and feel if it's going to fit in with them. Number 6, the group is elitist, claiming a special exalted status for itself, its leader, and its members. We're right, you're wrong.
That's wrong, and I'm working to stop it.
Don't confuse me with the facts. My mind is already made up. Where are we up to? Number 8, the group has a polarized us versus them mentality. Now, keep in mind, this is from a website that, keeps track of cults and how to deal with cults, right? This is about cults. I'm just wanting you to think about this in politics, in the tribalism of what politics is. Because it's just about, I'm a Democrat, I want the Democrats to win. I'm a Republican, I want the Republicans to win. It doesn't matter that you're voting for somebody who actually, and you're just falling in line with whatever preconceived notion that you think that your particular group, that your particular tribe wants you to believe. And you're never going to listen to the other side because they're wrong, and they're always wrong, and they can never be right because it doesn't fit into your little bubble. The group has a polarized us versus them mentality, which may cause conflict with the wider society. That sounds an awful lot like identity politics and the social justice warriors, which I've mentioned before. I think that's, if anything's going to kill the Democrats, it's that. I mean, research has showed that it is extremely unpopular, except with that radical left-wing part of the party, which is mostly white and affluent, which I find really bizarre. They're the ones interested in identity politics. Next, the leader is not accountable to any authorities. You can't put me on trial. I'm the president. Unlike, for example, teachers, military commanders, ministers, priests, monks, and rabbis or mainstream religious denominations. Next, the group teaches or implies that it is supposedly exalted ends justify whatever means it deems necessary. Wow. This is talking about cults, but I'm putting it in the context of the cult of politics, which so many of us belong to. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday during my session, my voiceover session. Somehow the election came up, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll vote on some stuff, but I can't see picking either person for senator. It's just, this midterm means nothing to me as far as that goes. And this person said, this is the most important midterm ever, because they want to destroy the groupthink of the Trumpians. That's all that's important. That's all that matters. The group teaches or implies that it is supposedly exalted ends justify whatever means it deems necessary. Next, the leadership induces feelings of shame or guilt in order to influence and control members. don't say something that doesn't fit into our particular hierarchy or ideology, because you won't then fit into our group, and we'll ostracize you. You may agree with 99% of the things that I say, but by God, if you're off on that one thing, you're no longer part of the inner circle. You're no longer part of our tribe. You're no longer part of our group because you can't think for yourself. That's not allowed. You have to fall in line step by step by step and listen to everything we say, and you must be under our thumb.
Understand? That's my policy.
Subservience to the leader or group requires members to cut ties with families and friends. When was the last time you brought up politics at Thanksgiving dinner? How did that go? The group is preoccupied with bringing in new members. Come on, let them come across the border. They'll vote for us. We don't care what happens to the country. The group is preoccupied with making money. How much money has Beto raised?
$20 can buy many peanuts.
In his quest for the Senate seat here in Texas, and most of that money's coming in from outside of Texas. It's coming in from California, New York. Members are expected to devote inordinate amounts of time to the group and group-related activities. You better get out there door to door. Make sure those Beto signs are up. And you better get out there door to door and tell everybody to vote for Trump. Because if you want to be part of our tribe, you're going to have to get in line and lockstep, baby. This is kind of depressing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
According to this group, these are the things to look out for when dealing with a cult. And it sounds to me like politics is a cult. Members are encouraged or required to live and or socialize only with other group members. Maybe not quite that far. But most left-wingers only, talk to left-wingers. Most right-wingers only talk to right. How many times have you read posts on Twitter or Facebook that said, I could never be with anybody that voted for Trump? Oh, honey, you little left-wing thing. Maybe it's your soulmate and you're missing out. Is that really important? Are we really defined by our politics?
No.
If you think we are, that's so very sad. I remember reading something a few years ago where some liberal said something to the effect that I could never have a relationship with, I think I've read this a few times, I could never have a relationship with someone who's a Republican. As if that defines who they are as a human being. I guess your politics define who you are as a human being. Must be pretty miserable. Last but not least, the most loyal members of the tribe feel there can be no life outside the context of the group. They believe there is no other way to be. Yeah, that's so true for the right or the left wing, and often fear reprisals to themselves or others if they leave or even consider leaving the group. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but your politics is nothing but a cult.
I'm the happiest guy.
He's the luckiest guy.
'Cause I just bought a new Ford.
From a wonderful dealer.
Wow, what a dealer!
For a Ford or a fine used car.
We're so politically correct that we can't move anymore. Don't we go too far? Too far? Don't you feel that you went too far in what you called Mexicans coming across the border? Oh, no, not at all. No, I'm very happy. You don't think so? I am so proud of the fact that I got dialogue started on illegal immigration. But in all fairness, they were very rough on me that first week, and then many of them have now apologized to me, and almost everybody's apologized, because it turned out I was right. And now everybody is saying that Trump was right. But I tell you, I took a lot of abuse. I had disloyal people like Macy's and like others. Oh, Donald, you're a little controversial. We're going to have to drop you. I said, I don't care. The ties, what do they mean to me? He's wearing one of my ties, by the way. It's very nice.
It's the John Ford Podcast.